Hello and welcome to Talking Life with Lauren. I'm your host, Lauren Spencer. Today we're going to be discussing the restructure of the MLB playoffs. Joining me today I have Cameron Terrell and Alex Altman. So Cameron, what are your thoughts on this subject?
So the big thing is it only takes a wild card team 8 total wins. Their wild card game, the round of 3, best of 5, and then best of 7, 4 wins. So that's 8 total wins to get to the World Series. Let's take the Dodgers, for example. They had the second best record, and they had to play the wild card game because they were behind the number 1 record in the league, the San Francisco Giants. So I feel like the second best team shouldn't have to play the extra game, but also I don't feel like the worst team in the playoffs should have to play as little as 8 total games.
Alex?
I completely agree. I think there should be a format to where, if teams that win their division are ranked so highly and they're the top seeds, I think it shouldn't be like that anymore. I think it should be to where, sort of like what the NBA does, to where it doesn't really matter if you win your division. They're going to put you in the top 8, and then you have the actual number 1 team playing the 8 seed. Instead, we have teams that have won 105 games that have been consistently one of the best teams in baseball all year, the San Francisco Giants, watching the rest of the playoffs on their couches at home.
Well, with the single elimination game for the wild card game, I almost think it's so unfair that it becomes fair. The wild card game is about who gets hot at the right time and who can really show up for the game. And it kind of seems fair to me at one point, if you win the game, you get in.
I mean, that's kind of what the NBA's gone to with the play-in game. It's one game that you play to get into the playoffs. I mean, I feel like that's kind of like the wild card. But at the same time, I feel like the structuring should be more similar to the NBA. Like Alex said, 8 teams or 10 teams, however many you want on each side. 1 plays 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. And I feel like that right there would be the best way to fix the playoffs.
And as far as the wild card goes, these teams play 40 or 50 spring training games and then 162-game, 8-month regular season. And to have it all come down to one game when who knows if your starting pitching is not doing well at the time, for it all to come down to one game, it's a lot.
It's almost anxiety-inducing. And the point of baseball playoffs isn't necessarily to determine the best team. The point is to induce some anxiety and see which kind of teams can show up and play well to get into the playoffs kind of thing. And one-game playoff doesn't necessarily identify the best team. It produces some great games, is what the game is all about.
Yeah. I mean, take the Red Sox and Yankees, for example. This is probably the best series overall over the whole season. The Red Sox had 10 wins, the Yankees had 9. And it came down to a wild card game between the two. Whoever wins took the wild card for the AL.
Yep, it's really like a storybook ending there. I agree.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Cameron Terrell and Alex Altman, for joining us. This has been Talking Life with Lauren. I'm your host, Lauren Spencer. We'll see you tomorrow.